Here, welcome back, or if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give the video a like if you find any of this content useful. It really does help the channel. So on my display right now, I have the Bitcoin US dollar chart open, and you guys know that over the past few weeks, we have simply been ranging within this wedge, and we did have a fake out a few days ago before returning to the wedge, and we're entering the weekend now while approaching the end of this wedge where we are imminent for a breakout. Whether that's to the upside or the downside can be debated, but we'll look at that alongside some fundamental news and look at where the market possibly could be moving. Now, you guys know, and I will reaffirm this from my previous video, that during one of the most fundamentally bullish times for Bitcoin and for cryptocurrency as a whole, I don't think now is the time to be bearish. We may enter an extended bear trend over a few weeks to a few months, but I doubt we're entering another 3-year bear market. It just doesn't make sense that we would do that, although of course, it's not entirely off of the table. There's a probability and a likelihood of the market moving in either direction. It just depends on which scenario is more likely. And I'm obviously leaning more towards the bullish side of things in the long term, at least within the next year or two, that we do eventually peak out over $100,000 for Bitcoin, over 5 to 10K for Ethereum. But obviously these predictions, just as I say, I don't like making predictions. These are numbers that are thrown around quite casually, but we do have to realize that the market has moved a lot already, and if we do range sideways for another few weeks or a few months, it's actually a very good sign. It's actually a very healthy sign. A strong move to the downside, a huge crash, isn't necessarily the best thing. I know many people are saying that it's actually very healthy if we go back to 20K. I personally do not think that, and the reason that I say that is that there are secondary consequences to these huge dumps, right? Not only that it gives people the possibility to buy in lower, and that might be a good reason for these dumps, or that the market can reset and people can enter again, but rather that it does distort the narrative quite a lot. It makes people lose confidence in the asset class. It can scare a lot of investors off if we do have an even extended dump. But with that being said, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the market has recovered many times in the past and likely will recover many times in the future. But don't forget, we're still sitting at over $36,900 right now. Still almost double what the previous 2017 all-time high at the end of the bull market was. So we need to remember that we're still very, very high. The market has had a very strong move over the past few months. Just in December, Ethereum was $500. We're still at $2,500, and we peaked out over 4K. So the market has had a very large move. It has been very overheated. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptos aren't making new all-time highs every single day, it doesn't mean that we're in a bear market. We could be in a bear trend, but it doesn't mean that it's the end of everything. It's not the end of cryptocurrency as we know it. Now, I do want to comment on some of the models and some of the information which has been shared around the internet quite a lot recently. And the first is, of course, the death cross. Now, this was initially shared by, I think, Ben Cohen. Of course, it's a very popular indicator. Many people use it, but Ben Cohen really made it popular recently, and he started talking about it a lot before it got picked up by other YouTubers and outlets like CoinDesk. Now, I do want to give credit